Hey, what's up, you all? BLDR number 3. We're going to deploy a smart contract using Hardhat. And so if you've never watched a BLDR before, it's just like a TLDR. It's just a quick video showing you how to do something on base. Anybody can make a BLDR. It's just, whatever is important to you that you want to show to somebody else. It's a great example of something to make a BLDR about. So today we're going to do one for deploying a smart contract using Hardhat. Let's go ahead and just dive in. If you never heard of Hardhat, check out hardhat.org. They have great documentation. They also have tutorial section on their website. Really help you go deep into Hardhat, but it's just a really robust development environment for building on top of Ethereum. And so the reason that you can do this on Base with Hardhat is because Base is EVM equivalent, which means that what runs on Ethereum is also going to run on Base, and it's also going to run faster. So let's just go ahead and dive in. I'm on docs.base.org. Essentially, I'm going to skip through a lot of the preliminary stuff. The important thing here, if you've never done this before, is pausing after you've checked out some of these sections and looking up exactly what I'm doing and learning more about it. That's the best way to learn, aside from just going through, following the instructions and deploying a smart contract. Going back through and learning more about what exactly you did each step along the way. So we're going to create a smart contract, just a really simple one for NFT. We're going to compile it, deploy it, and then I'm going to show you on Basecamp how we can interact with it. The prerequisite here, you're going to need Node 18. I'm not going to go into how to install Node, but it's definitely something you can look up on a search engine. Highly recommend using NVM, that's Node Version Manager, which can allow you to quickly install the right version of Node. It's common if you're starting to do a lot of development that you'll be working with different versions of Node, and so just showing you how quickly you can do that. If I skip over here into my command line, it's going to tell me that I already have it installed, but if I didn't have it installed, it would be pretty quick and automatically switch to it. So you're also going to need a wallet. You're going to need the private key for that wallet. I'd highly recommend not using a really important wallet since you're going to be experimenting here. So a great thing to do is just create a test experimental wallet and use the private key for that. Also be careful, what you do with that you don't end up using it later for more important things, or if you're going to build an application here with Hardhat, not checking that into GitHub, stuff like that, on a public repository. So that out of the way, we're just going to go really quickly. Remember what I said, if you don't understand these things, it's really important to stop along the way, pause the video, read about what each one of these commands mean, and that's just really going to help you level up and just get a much more richer conclusion to understand exactly what you did at the end of this video. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to initialize the project. This is going to be really fast. It's going to create the package file for the project. Next, we're going to install Hardhat itself, which is going to allow us to deploy and verify and put together essentially what we need to get this on chain. So this is going to take usually about 30 seconds. While it's doing that, I'm just going to kind of scroll through here. You can see that once this is done, we're also going to want to create the actual project itself using Hardhat. And you can see where we're going to want to select when we're prompted to create a TypeScript project, and then just select yes for adding a gitignore file, and then also creating the template project skeleton that we'll be leveraging as we go down further into this doc. So I think this should probably be done now. I'm going to click back in the window. Looks like it's still going, but I bet if I wait maybe about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 more seconds, it should be done. And that's the longest millisecond ever. There we go. So now we're going to create this project. You're going to see that question, what do you want to do? Remember, it said we should choose a TypeScript project. So I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to do it in the current folder. Yes, I want to create that gitignore. Remember, that was another one. And then lastly, this other one, which is we do want to create the sample projects dependencies. So this is going to be pretty fast. And next, we're going to need to populate our Hardhat config file. And so this is essentially what's going to tell it the Solidity version we want to use. Also the network that we're going to go on chain with, which is Base. Base is currently on testnet, so we're going to do that on Base Gurley, which is an L2 for Ethereum Gurley. So this is essentially just pretty straightforward, but remember what I said. Important if you don't understand this to just pause the video and just spend a little time using a search engine, reading a bit more about what the syntax means here. You can also join the Base Discord and you can ask us in our community. It's Base Developer Channel is a great one. Smart Contract Support's another one. We're happy to help you there too. So anyways, I'm going to go ahead and paste this in to the Hardhat config file right here. I'm going to empty out what was previously in there. And now I'm going to paste in the code that we just saw in the doc. And lastly, we do need to install the toolbox dependency. So that's going to allow us to get this on chain. And that was really fast. I need to install the .env library so that I can utilize a .env file that has my private key. This is where that's going to come in handy when I was telling you at the beginning of the video. You're going to need a wallet with a private key. So I'm using like an experimental wallet that I set up. It's got like a low balance. You could just create one, use the Coinbase faucet, and just get a little bit of Gurley ETH, Base Gurley ETH. You could try bridging it over to Base from L1 Gurley. And yeah, so you're going to put that into this file. This is going to be a string. So after the equals sign, you're going to put this in quotes. And just be careful again that you don't leak this key to others, because you never know when you might inadvertently end up using it somewhere and not wanting other people to know. So I've already done this step. So I'm just going to go ahead and install the .env, and then we're very, very close now to actually having our contract on chain, our smart contract for our NFT. So I'm going to go into the contracts folder. I'm going to remove this lock file. We don't need it for this, but I'm going to create our smart contract. So I'm going to go ahead and paste in that code, if I can do it without a typo. And next, we're going to install Open Zeppelin. So that should be pretty fast. Highly recommend reading about Open Zeppelin. It's very key set of contracts, robust set of code that lots of different projects use across the ecosystem. So the last step here before we deploy is we're going to compile this. It's going to be really fast. It's telling me that it expected a string. I think what happened is I pasted in the config wrong. So I'm going to go back in here to, oh, actually, you know what it is? I'm in the wrong folder for compiling. So now I'm going to try that again. And I got no errors that time. So what happened was I was actually in my contracts folder. I needed to be like in the root of this project to run that command. So that's why I got that error. And then now we can proceed with our deployment script and put the smart contract on chain. So I'm going to go into my scripts folder. There's already going to be a deploy script in there. We're going to empty it out and paste in our deploy code. And here we go. We're going to broadcast this. So I'm going to go into the web root again, the root folder of this project root, and let's see what happens. Should take probably a couple seconds to push this up, assuming I have my balance. Yep, and there it is. That's our smart contract address. And so with this, we can actually go over to Basecamp and look it up. You'll see that we're actually on chain. So There it is. You can see about 22 seconds ago it went on chain, and you can see that this contract's actually already verified. And the reason for that is because we're using this doc, and this code's already been pushed up and verified by others, but we can still go ahead and do this step. Anyways, like how would you verify the smart contract if it was more custom code? One thing I do want to show before we do that is that you can actually interact with this contract here. You can see that we have the available functions that we can read, and then also the ones that we could connect a wallet to and write. So that's pretty cool. We just did that like here in about 10 minutes, and probably just like a few minutes was me talking about things. So it's actually faster than that. So it's pretty powerful when you start thinking about how you could extend this and start doing all kinds of stuff on chain. And then when you're on an L2 base, it's super cheap to do, and it kind of opens you up to a whole new world of possibilities when you're building on chain, because it's like all of a sudden a lot less expensive to flesh out your ideas. So next we're going to go to verify this. Like I said, it's already verified. That's because we can tell with this check mark. And then it'll also tell us here, like, look, this code matches deployed bytecode. That means it's been verified before. But let's say we just wanted to do it anyways. We're going to go back in here to the docs. You can see that I need to add the code block here for Etherscan to this Hardhat user config. So let's go ahead and do that. Once I go into this doc, I'm going to do it right, this file rather. I'm going to do it right below the network definition. And just because I'm being fast here, I'm not going to mess with my formatting at the moment, but I would indent that to make it look a little nicer. I'm going to close this, and then it's just one command. I'm going to go ahead and use npx hardhat verify, specify we're doing this on base Gurley, and then we need to use the smart contract address that we just got above and paste it in. And then we're just going to push that as well. And then you'll see it's pretty fast, and it's telling me it's already verified. So in a nutshell, that's how you deploy a smart contract using Hardhat on base. So hope that was helpful. Like I said, feel free to rewind this and stop it on the parts that you didn't really understand. Highly recommend like looking up, using a search engine to read about like some of these commands, syntax that you're seeing in some of these files. And yeah, good luck. And see you for the next builder video.